Hi, Aries and Aries Rising. Here is your horoscope for May 2025. I am Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, there is a lot to be grateful for this month. If you're a sun sign in Aries, or if you have a rising sign in Aries, this is a very general overview using Western astrology, using the tropical system whole house, okay? Because your birth chart and the alignments may be different than this. And everyone has a different birthday. So again, remember that it's a very general and basic overview, but it'll still have accuracy. I would say about 75 to 80% will still be accurate for many of you, okay? But anyway, there is a lot to be thankful for this month. We have Mars that is finally moving direct and has left Cancer and is now in happy-go-lucky Leo. So this is a lot to be grateful for right here, because Leo is a fire sign just like yours, and it's in the fifth house. So it's creativity, it's fun, it's adventure. It is more exciting. It's more thrilling. It's a very creative position, and Mars, of course, is the ruler of Aries, and so this is going to be really important for many of you to start new creative projects. If you have children, maybe you're spending more time with your kids because the fifth house represents children. Maybe you're just more playful this month. Okay, you find excitement in a lot of, just joy and just doing simple things, and being playful. So this is going to be very important, and there's a lot to be grateful for here. Now, the other thing that's also very important is that Neptune is now in your sign right there, and will stay here until October. I believe it's October the 20th or 22nd, in your first house of identity and self. Now, Neptune in the first house it's a bit tricky, because Neptune is a bit of confusion. It's imagination, it's psychic ability, it's compassion. In Aries, it's about the self. So what Neptune's trying to do for many of you is to show you who you really are. This creative energy being in a physical suit. And that's what Neptune's job is. At the same time, it's dissolving the ego for many of you, because Aries represents the ego. In other words, not in a bad way, but it's just the ego is the side of us that has courage and protects itself against danger. So this is dissolving part of that identity and part of the sort of self-worth issues that you may be having, okay, or that you've had. So we also have Venus is also in Aries as we begin the month, and I'll get into that in a second. But we also have Saturn that's going to leave Pisces and move into your first house as well, and that's going to be towards the end of the month. So there's a lot of energy here in this first house of identity and self for many of you, which is going to motivate you, which is going to have you trying new things, experimenting, reinventing your appearance, your persona, how people see you. Okay, and some of it may invigorate you because of Mars, your ruler, going through Leo. So I would say this is a fantastic month for getting projects and endeavors and changing things the way you want them to, or at least take the steps in those directions, but at the same time, enjoy that playfulness that you really need, because the first 4 months of 2025 have been rough because of Mars retrograde. Okay, so this is a great month for all that. So again, do the little things that make you happy, enjoy yourself a little bit more this month. That's what this is all about. Now, the sun is going through Taurus at this time of the year. So again, it's about the simple pleasures. It's about getting back to the basics. So we have to do that this month, okay? Now, the ruler of Taurus is Venus. Now, we're going to get into Venus now, because Venus is going to be in Aries also. She entered here just around midnight or so, I believe, on the last day of last month, but it's also, the first day of this month. So Venus in the first house makes you more alluring, you're more relationship-oriented, you're more creative, you feel more loving, more, you're excited about things. And especially since Venus is going to be making another alignment with Mars. So Venus will keep coming down. It'll make an alignment with Mars. It'll at least get close to it. And so I see some really positive energy here for many of you when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your values, when it comes to financial matters. This is a big month for financial matters, especially since we have a full moon that's going to be in the 8th house, and I'll cover that in a little bit. But this is all on the table. Now, remember, the financial system is changing for everybody. So please don't take this personally like only, these things are only happening to you. We have major shifts that are going on in the world because of the political stuff that's going on. And as I've said before in other videos, if you follow my other videos, the New Moon Outlook videos, my update videos, and my live streams, I've been talking about the psychopaths that run this planet want a new financial system, and they want it to be all digital. So that's their goal. But again, it doesn't stop you from, making investments or starting new things, especially with these positive alignments this month. So I would say take advantage of them as Venus is making its way through your first house, and that'll be about 6 weeks. So take advantage of that while it's in your sign. Now, Venus makes a wonderful alignment to Neptune on the very second day that it's in the sign right there at 1 degree. So, and it's also making an alignment to Pluto right there. So this could be popularity. This could be a lot of attention. This could be something really mystical and magical that happens in your life, unexpected. This could be, a romance, rekindling a romance, reinventing yourself completely where people, don't even recognize you anymore because you've changed so much. But one thing's for sure, this is going to be a very active, a very social month with this alignment right here. Okay, so anything to do with relationships, and I've been saying this for a while, that don't work anymore, you have to let go of them or move on from them. But this is one of the nicest alignments. This happens like once a year. And so this time it's in your sign of Aries. So it's very important to take advantage of this energy. You might feel extra lucky. You might feel over optimism. You might feel like, hey, man, things are really finally turning my way. And I say, go with it. This is how the universe works. It's energy flow. It comes in, it retracts, it comes in, it retracts. And so now is an opportunity in May to move forward with relationships, projects, financial endeavors. There's really nothing holding you back, okay, because Mars is in a very good position right here, and you got all these planets in your first house. So take advantage of these opportunities in this timeline. Now, Pluto goes retrograde on the 4th. Not really a big deal because Pluto goes retrograde almost 6 months out of the year. And so retrograde just means going within. And since this is in Aquarius in the 11th house here of hopes and wishes, this is going to slow things down a little bit subconsciously where you're really questioning, where am I going? What is it that I really want? And you'll have 5 months to think about it, 5.5 to 6 months to think about it. Revisiting the past, old neighborhoods, old plans, ideas. This is all going to be on the table here. Not a big deal, though. Again, like I said, it's a long process. It's a review process. But it's at the same time, it's also weeding out stuff that no longer works for you, getting rid of friendships, organizations, charities, things that you're affiliated with that might not be what you want anymore. Remember, you're reinventing yourself with all this energy in the first house. So this is part of the dynamics of Pluto making its way through the 11th house, is to transform and get rid of stuff that no longer is needed. And it includes, unfortunately, relationships with other people or organizations. Now, Mercury enters Taurus on the 10th right there. Mercury's all about communication. It left your sign, and now it's in slow-going, easy Taurus. And so we have 3 planets in Taurus, as I could see here in the second house. So it's all about financial matters. It's about values. It's the physical side of life. It's the possessions. All of that stuff is going to be very important now with Mercury. So your mind is going to shift gears after the 10th into financial endeavors, into making money, into things that are important to you in some way. So keep an eye on that because that'll be also a plus. Now, the full moon continues that trend of financial endeavors or investments. It'll be a full moon in Scorpio right here, opposing the sun. And unfortunately, Uranus is in the mix. So this could be a total wild card. But it has, again, to do with financial matters, financial endeavors, possessions. Maybe there's a job that you're leaving. Maybe you're getting money from an investment or something along those lines. So this is going to be very important as well. It does highlight financial endeavors of all kind. So whatever you start at the beginning of the month, this one could be where you take a turn and go, okay, now I need to do this instead of this. But whatever it is, there's definitely a financial, psychological component to this. Now, the sun conjuncts Uranus on the 17th and 18th. That's very important. Again, this only happens once a year. but it's in Taurus, having to do with your values, having to do with financial matters, having to do with beliefs. And so Uranus in Taurus has you looking in a very progressive way. In other words, looking at the future, looking at all the things you've been through. All right, what do I need to change? What else do I need? What else do I need to, improve? Where can I make better investments? Where can I put my money? Where can I start a new endeavor, a new project? And with Uranus in the mix, it's a very creative time. So once again, I'm suggesting look for creativity this month. Mars is in a very favorable position. I've said this before. So take advantage of the opportunities to try something new. And speaking of new, the Sun enters Gemini on the 20th and 21st, third house of communication, which is going to be really igniting a lot of your thoughts and thinking and need for self-expression over the next 30 days. So you need to take advantage of that, because the other thing that's going to happen here is on the 24th and 25th, we have Saturn moving into your first house. Now, Saturn is all about discipline. Saturn is all about hard work and making things happen with effort. Now, on some level, this could be very positive. It's going to force you to change. It's going to force you to look at the world in a different way. It's going to force you to make different decisions. This could also add more discipline into your life, because Aries is very restless and impulsive at times. But with Saturn there, it'll be like, okay, what do I need to change? What do I need to do? I need to put a little more effort here. I need to improve this. And so you'll have Saturn there for a while, at least for the next couple of months, because it'll retrograde back out in the fall as well, along with Neptune. But this could be very beneficial. So don't look at it as restrictive, but look at it as beneficial in starting or going in a new direction. Now, on the 25th and 26th, late on the 25th, now we have Mercury also going into Gemini. So we have Mercury and the Sun in Gemini in the third house of communication. So once again, your mind is going to be on overload with ideas and creativity and self-expression. So you see how this month can be very beneficial for you if you play your cards right. Okay, so traveling, exploring, sharing your wisdom, teaching. Saturn represents teaching. So this could be quite beneficial for many of you. And then the cherry on top of the cake is also a new moon in Gemini in the third house. So many of you are going to be so filled with ideas, you won't be able to sit still. And so this is going to be some really positive energy for movement, for travel, for writing, for self-expression in some way. Remember, Mars, the whole month, is in a very good position. So again, I am suggesting this looks like a fantastic month for many of you if you play your cards right, where the energy is moving in your favor. Okay? So there's the general overview. If you want to know more, I do an extended version of this in my Inner Circle community, as you can see here. And I do the weekly astrology. We do an extended version of this. I also go over people's charts, members' charts, and I teach astrology in there. And members every Sunday get to ask me questions about what they want to know about. And we do a live stream every Sunday. So if you're interested, click on the link down below. There's a free 7-day trial, so you got nothing to lose. You go in there, check it out, join one of the live streams, and see if it's for you. All right, so have a great month, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.